believe, is going to be even more exciting for Newsbud. Yes, we have added Ali Sayed. He's based in Belgium. Fantastic researcher. Extremely knowledgeable when it comes to Middle East and Near East. He speaks 3-4 languages fluently, and of course he is in the heart of the beast. He's where NATO is he's in Belgium.
Here is our newest addition of the Newsbud team, Ali Sayed.
For me, 2016 has been punctuated by the utter failure of the mainstream media on every level possible. I mean, already beginning with the interventionist propaganda for NATO, and it being eventually obvious that the MSM is actually the propaganda arm of NATO. I would like to point out some of the propaganda fails that occurred for Syria. I mean, the whole process is very interesting, and it was very methodical. It started with the interventionist propaganda and saying that Assad is not actually a popular president, and his population are actually revolting against him. And then they gave it the sectarian twist. I mean, they brought in all the different sects and all the categories involved in the country. The red line which they wanted to cross was the chemical weapons. And for me, the chemical weapon issue is extremely interesting, because there's still absolutely no proof that chemical weapons were used by the Syrian Arab army. Yet the media just keeps going on and on and on about how chemical weapons were used and how he is a bad guy because chemical weapons were used. And that's why this illegal intervention is actually a humanitarian intervention. You move on further, and they show that he was starving his people, as in what happened in Madaya. And I mean, they were actually using pictures of starving children in Yemen and bombings in Pakistan to actually show the fact that, again, he's the dictator, and the jihadis are actually the revolutionaries. And again, that's another myth that the mainstream media propagated, that there actually is FSA and moderate rebellion in Syria. I mean, it's a bit like the unicorn. I really don't believe it actually exists. You have this whole propaganda against the Syrian allies as well. So you have the whole propaganda against Iran, against Russia, against also Hezbollah. I mean, it's like they're taking advantage of the fog of war, as we say. I mean, the anti-Assad coalition has actually lost. So their propaganda is literally falling apart, as is NATO. Because I mean, it literally shows that NATO and the MSM are linked at the hip. One falls down, the other one is shown to be a scam. It gets so nefarious that they end up using humanitarian veneers to push their interventionist policies. I think it's a victory for alternative media. This year, 2016, has shown that alternative media, and there's been polls as well I've seen that showing that there is no confidence left in the mainstream media. And again, I would like to punctuate that this is my main story, that the media is dead, not to be trusted, and people should get their information elsewhere.